Welcome everyone. This is breathing exercises, guided meditation for stress relief, digital doc series. We are Aligned Modern Health. You don't already know who we are. We are Chicagoland's top-rated, integrative medicine facility. We do a lot of chiropractic, acupuncture, massage therapy, functional medicine, nutrition. This is all for it's integrative medicine, so we all work together, right? So if you see a chiropractor, maybe you see your acupuncturist as well, functional medicine, et cetera. We treat a lot of pain, of course, fertility, digestive disorders, a whole host of things. We can, treat a lot of different conditions with our collaborative approach. And if you are already healthy, we can help you stay healthy. So a lot of different things that we can do for you here. So I am your host, Dr. Brennan Feegan. I am an acupuncturist. I've worked with Aligned for a little over a year now. I moved here from Seattle. This is where I went to my schooling. I have a master's degree and a doctorate in Chinese medicine from Bastyr University, which is where I went to school out there in Seattle. I have a two bachelor's degrees from Michigan State University, what we would now consider to be social justice degrees. The doctorate of acupuncture that I have is, most acupuncturists only have a master's degree. This is something that, that's what's required for practice, but a doctorate is extra training, or a lot of integrative medicine training, experience in hospitals there in Seattle, also in China. I spent a couple months in China learning. And, what's more relevant for today is that I also have a lot of Taoist Qigong and meditation training and lineages of Xuan Qigong, Yiren Qigong, I Ching Jing. Most of those are branches of Longmen Pai, which is the Dragon Gate school of Taoism, which is itself a branch of the complete reality school of Taoist traditions. My professional passions, pain management, that's what I have a specialty in, neurological disorders, dermatological conditions, see a lot of fertility as well, and also digestive disorders. If you're going to do something like dermatology or digestive issues, usually you're going to also want to do the Chinese herbal medicine, which we can talk a little bit about as well. So for finding balance in these stressful times, this really helps to kind of understand the basic concept of yin and yang. So yin and yang are the basic poles of the universe, right? You kind of think of it as like a positive and negative, or like fire and water, light and dark, that kind of thing. But also what you need to understand is that yin and yang they're mutually antagonistic, yet they can't exist without each other. So whenever there is yin, there's also yang. Whenever there is yang, there's also yin. It is impossible to have one without the other. And they are infinitely divisible. So if you look at something that is yang, you can always look at a part of it and say, oh, there's the yin part of it, and you can subdivide forever. So when it comes to kind of your daily life, a yang activity is going to be, like being awake, being active, multitasking, working, studying. Yin activities, relaxation, breathing, just kind of like resting or digesting. Meditating is yin. Most of the time there are yang meditative type activities. For example, Tai Chi meditation is going to be more yang than a sitting meditation, whereas martial arts is going to be more yang than Tai Chi, for example. Think of yin as kind of like gravity or dark or cold, and yang you can think of as like lightning or fire, very active, a pure act, a whole of the universe. So when this gets to our nervous system, really what we're looking at, if we think of yin and yang, the yang aspect is going to be your sympathetic nervous system, so your fight or flight response. The yin aspect is going to be your parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. So this really helps to talk about stress, because, a little bit of stress people like. People like a little bit of stress because it is stimulating. It's a little bit fun. It's why people go into the city, because there's a lot of stuff going on. You can go do a lot of things. The activity stimulates you, and it's not you're not bored. You have a lot of things to do. It feels good short term. Now, if you do this short term, it's fine. If you do it long term, that stress builds up and kind of depletes your body after a little bit. That stress, you become used to it, and you kind of forget that you're experiencing it until you run into these, this overusage of your sympathetic nervous system, where you're going to have tense muscles, palpitations, fast heartbeat, digestive disorders, sometimes headaches, high blood pressure. A lot of the diseases of modern life are caused by too much stress, too much cortisol, or not enough cortisol. If you are constantly in a fight or flight response, and your adrenaline essentially can kind of deplete itself, and then you don't have enough cortisol to do all these different things. The parasympathetic nervous system is going to be your sleep cycle, your digestion. This is really going to be helpful for breathing. So if you're doing breathing exercises, it kind of works in the reverse way, in that your body will realize it needs to go back into this rest and digest, or calming state of mind. When you get acupuncture treatments, a lot of what's happening is we are, transitioning people from the fight or flight response to this rest or digest response. I mean, it's very, very common nowadays, especially if you live in the city, for your sympathetic nervous system to be overstimulated. And so when you come in, you get the treatment done, a lot of people fall right asleep, and, they're like, the time goes by very quickly, because we're putting them back into this state where they can rest and digest. That's why acupuncture has a reputation for stress relief. Now, it's not really treating your stress. It's just helping your body get back into the balanced position where you can use your, you can moderate your stress pattern by yourself, by your own body does it. Some of the supplements you can use to help with this, maca, eleuthero, ashwagandha. Ashwagandha definitely is helpful for helping you kind of relax. It does have a reputation as a nervine, or as a kind of a nerve restorative. Eleuthero does too. Eleuthero is a little bit more energetic. I would say energetic. I mean that it is. It's more stimulating than ashwagandha is. Eleuthero also has more of a pain-killing type of aspect for it. Now, maca is something that is not necessarily a nervous system regulator. It's an HPA axis regulator. So this is going to be really useful for, let's say you have too much sympathetic nervous tone, and you're feeling really depleted all the time because you can't relax. So maca will help you restore your hormones to where they should be, and give you more energy, but it's not really a solution to you being overstressed, right? You still need to do something else to help with that stress. And if you take too much maca, it can actually compound the problem of the sympathetic nervous tone. So maca was originally used by Incan warriors before they went to war. So this is, it's not a relaxation type of a herbal drug. I definitely recommend that if you want to do herbal supplements, then you should see a professional. So you either see somebody like me, who is I'm a Chinese medicine doctor. A lot of my experience is in herbal medicine. In fact, in China, the primary usage of Chinese medicine is with herbs, with internal medicine, and it's not acupuncture. Or you can see a functional medicine doctor. Most of the times, if you take a supplement, you're taking a smaller dose that not going to cause problems, but it still will be better for you to see somebody who has some experience in this. Now, today, we're going to teach you some breathing exercises, some meditation to help you get from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system. Try and relax and de-stress with, all the stresses that we have in our lives. And just, modern life is pretty stressful right now. So it's going to help to kind of help us restore and reset our stress. So one of the proper way to breathe here is going to be diaphragmatic breathing. So this is also called belly breathing. One of the ways you can think of it is if you have a newborn baby and they're laying on their back and they're breathing, you see their belly go up and go down. they're not breathing with their chest. Now, it is very common if you are stressed out that you will start breathing with your chest. We call it, I call it stress breathing. You're using your accessory muscles. So you're using your scalenes, typically right here, they attach to the upper ribs, and you're using those to lift your chest and therefore expand your lungs rather than move your diaphragm down towards your toes, which is the better way to breathe. Having your diaphragm go down like that, you're going to get a lot more oxygen into your body. You're going to feel a lot better. Using your scalenes to breathe, you are going to, have neck pain. You're not going to get as much oxygen. Oftentimes, and I see this very often, people will have headaches from that, from stress breathing. They'll have headaches and they'll have neck pain, and that takes a little bit of while. It takes a little bit of time to undo that kind of tension in the scalenes, and it's best really to have some proper breathing, the diaphragmatic breathing. Now, some ways you can do this: lie on a flat surface, the floor, your bed, a rock somewhere, or sit comfortably in a chair. If you're lying down, bend your knees a little bit, take some the pressure off of your low back while you're laying down. You're sitting up, have them bent at a 90-degree angle. Place one hand on your upper chest, the other on your belly, just below the ribs. You can also do this with a book. If you're lying down, you can put a book kind of on your navel, and then when you breathe, that you should push the book up while you're breathing with your diaphragm. You're going to close your eyes and then breathe in slowly through your nose. And as you're breathing, kind of think of like you're breathing with your heels or into your heels. So you're going to push the belly outwards and envision the belly filling up like a balloon. And then you're going to exhale through the mouth, tightening the abdominal muscles and releasing the belly back to its normal position. I'll try and show you kind of what that looks like here. So when you breathe in, your belly's going to kind of go out like that. And then when you exhale, go back. So you breathe in, go back out. It should be somewhat obvious, when you're doing the diaphragmatic breathing. And when you are breathing, there should be a relaxation. Like you shouldn't be using a lot of muscular tension to make this breathing go. Sometimes you will just because you're not used to it, or if you aren't used to it. But really, it should be a relaxation. Your body wants to breathe like this, but we often act against our own self-interest in our body because we're too stressed out. Now, I am going to have my colleague Janine come and help me. She's going to help lead you guys through our 3 deep breaths breathing exercise, and I'll try and demonstrate that while she talks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Feegan. We like starting with the 3 deep breaths exercise because it is a beginning breathing exercise. Sometimes we get questions about, well, I breathe every day. How is it, something beginner versus more advanced? But there are definitely some beginner breathing exercises and some that are a little bit more advanced. We're going to do a few different ones today. We want to keep in mind breathing through our diaphragm, practicing that diaphragmatic breathing that Dr. Feegan just talked about. So as we learn how to do this and talk a little bit about it, we do invite you to place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, just in case it's something that you're not used to yet. We like to start with this beginner breathing exercise specifically because it's also very discreet. Not only is it activating our parasympathetic nervous system, that calm and connect, are a way to signal to our mind and our body that we got this, we can get through this. But it's also very discreet, right? So if you are in a meeting or your boss is driving you crazy, you can do your 3 deep breaths exercise and he or she won't even know. If your in-laws are in town and you're at dinner and you need to do some breathing to calm your mind and calm your body, nobody will know that you're doing a breathing exercise for stress relief. So this is a wonderful beginner exercise, and it is simply as the name suggests. We are going to inhale deeply through the nose for a count of 3. We are going to exhale evenly through the mouth for a count of 3. And we are going to repeat that 3 times. That is one set of the 3 deep breaths exercise. We are going to do 3 full sets together today. And we do invite you to practice this later today, in bed at night, tomorrow, whenever you need it. And if you do need a refresher on how to do it or what it is, a copy of this recording will be sent out to all who have registered. So get comfortable in your chair, or if you did move to the floor or another flat surface, close your eyes, place one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly, and breathe through the diaphragm. When you're ready, together, we will inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Good. Breathe normally. Take a moment. We're going to do that together again to practice. Together through the nose, when you're ready, we will inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Good. Return to breathing normally. Before we do our last set of 3 deep breaths together, I would invite Dr. Feegan to bring up a little bit of information in case this is something very interesting to you, to take it to a little bit more of an advanced study. Again, 3 deep breaths is a beginning breathing exercise. You can simply do it as we've been doing it. There is no need to advance it if this is working for you. Maybe you feel a little bit more relaxed. Maybe your shoulders have dropped just a bit, doing it only twice. And so you can certainly continue on that way. But if you are interested, there is a deeper study where when you take your first breath of 3, you consider that your centering breath. You're focusing solely on the breath itself, your physical body, the space you're taking up in the universe, being rooted to the ground or the earth, being rooted through gravity, and just kind of focusing solely on the breath. The second breath of the 3 deep breaths can be the possibility breath. This is where you can allow your mind to wander a bit to thoughts of being the best version of you where you are today, right now. Perhaps you are a capable worker, you have success at projects, perhaps you are a loving parent, a great friend. Perhaps you simply want to think, I am a powerful being and I can achieve great things. So that second breath is some kind of affirmation that you can say to yourself as you take that second breath. That last 3rd breath is the discovery breath. That's where we release all judgments, all constraints, everything that's boxing us in our earthly life, and just kind of allow yourself to see the bigger picture of the universe. And so for the first breath, this last time we'll do it together, can be your centering breath, focusing on the breath itself. The second breath can be the possibility breath with some kind of positive affirmation about who you are here and now today. And the 3rd breath can be the discovery breath, where we really kind of allow the mind to expand. There is a book that we recommend that you can see here at the bottom. If you are interested in more information, you can always check that out. But before we move on to another breathing exercise, we're going to do this last one together, either focusing on centering, possibility, and discovery, or simply taking 3 deep breaths. So together, when we're ready, we will inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Good. Return to breathing normally. This has been 3 deep breaths. The next breathing exercise we are going to do is called the 4-7-8 breathing exercise. This is a little bit more of an advanced breathing exercise, and it can be a little bit tricky for some people, and that's okay, especially if it's not something that you've done before or have practice with. The basic idea is that we are going to inhale through the nose for a count of 4. We're going to hold our breath for a count of 7. And then we are going to exhale slowly for a count of 8. Some folks find it very difficult to hold their breath for that long. Some folks find it very difficult to exhale for that long. It's a really long exhale, especially if you aren't familiar or practice deep breathing on a regular basis. Before we go into some tips and tricks, we're just going to try it together first. So again, think about breathing through the belly deeply and evenly. When we inhale, it'll be through the nose. When we exhale, it'll be through the mouth. If you want, you can close your eyes, or you can watch Dr. Feegan for some visual cues. When you're ready, you will inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Return to breathing normally. We'll do this together again, and again, it's something that you can practice. But Dr. Feegan, would you show us some tips and tricks that might help? So if that was very easy for you, you can make it even more advanced by placing your tongue gently on the tissue behind the upper teeth. This will take a somewhat advanced breathing exercise even to the next level. But if that was a little bit hard, it's okay. If it was hard to hold your breath for that long or exhale for that long, you can decrease the counts as practice until you work back up to the sweet spot of 4, 7, 8. We just recommend that you keep the same ratio. So you may start as you practice on your own with a 2, 5, 6 count or a 3, 6, 7 count. But again, you'll want to work up eventually to that sweet spot of 4, 7, 8. There is no reason to go above those numbers. When you're beginning, just repeat the exercise a few times. After you've been practicing, the sweet spot here is to do 8 full cycles of the 4, 7, 8 breathing exercise. That's where we're going to maximize the effectiveness and overall sense of relaxation. This is a really great exercise, not only to practice in times of acute stress when you want to calm the body or the mind, but also when you're going to bed at night to prepare the body and the mind for a restful sleep. This is great to practice laying down in bed. As you do practice it, lightheadedness is a little bit of a normal side effect, especially if you're not used to breathing deeply. Just remain calm and you can continue your practice. If your lightheadedness does not pass, absolutely stop and return to a normal breathing pattern. But that should, in a healthy person, go away fairly quickly and with some practice. So before we start our meditation, let's go ahead and practice this together one more time. When you're ready, sit comfortably in your chair or on the floor and breathe through the belly. Together, we will inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Return to breathing normally. Thank you, Dr. Feegan.
Thank you, Janine. I really like the 4, 7, 8 one. That's probably my favorite of the two. If I'm, trying to help relax myself and get back into a parasympathetic state, I think the holding the breath and then exhaling really does help slow your body down, slow your mind down a little bit. But so for this portion, I'm going to teach you guys, lead you guys through a short meditation. Now, as I briefly mentioned earlier, I am a Taoist, or I have Taoist training. So that's the kind of meditation I do. I don't do a lot of affirmations. So this is more, moving your mind with your breath. So there are a couple of things that you need to understand here. One, when you're doing the breathing, your tongue should be at the roof of your mouth, just like was mentioned in the previous breathing exercise. You're just going to breathe normally. It is going to be a diaphragmatic breath. You should make this kind of a shape with your hands, and then put that right underneath your navel, about 3 finger breaths underneath your navel, and your mind should go to a point in your body called the lower dantian, which is so 3 finger breaths below your navel, and then think of a line going right up and down in the middle of your body. So that's how far back it should be inside of your body, and how low it should be is just underneath your navel. So when those 2 lines connect, that's where the dantian is. That's where your mind should be placed. The lower dantian, think of that as like a battery for your body. And if you ever see an acupuncturist, you know, they may talk about the dantian, they may not. All of the channels pass through the dantian, and energizing that area is very helpful for energy normal life, but also to help restore you if you are, you know, if you're too stressed out and you're losing your energy. It's very helpful practice, and it is the foundational practice for all other types of more advanced meditation. So what we're going to do, so make that mudra, make that gesture right underneath your navel there. It's best to do this sitting. You can do it standing if you want. You can do it lying down too, but it's best to be doing it sitting up. We're going to take 6 breaths, and I will lead you through the first 3. So first, you know, close your eyes, relax, and then recall your mind back to your body. So, you know, nothing matters now except what you are doing in this moment. This is the only reality that you have for right now. You're not thinking about anything else. Just bring it back to your body, see how your body feels. And then we are going to place our mind into the dantian. And as we breathe in, the mind goes to the dantian. And as we breathe out, it goes just past your body. So breathe in, mind goes in. Breathe out, mind goes out. Inhale, mind goes to the dantian. Exhale, mind goes out. Inhale, mind goes to the dantian. Exhale, mind goes out, just past your body. Now I'll let you guys do this 3 times, 3 breaths on your own. When you are finished with your breaths, slowly bring your mind back to normal life. And you're going to take your arms out over your head. Take a gathering breath. As you inhale, bring them up. And then as you exhale, and place your hands over your head. And that is the basic embryonic breathing exercise. Very useful to help restore your body in times of depletion from stress or depletion from really. If you start to feel warm or hot, or start to sweat when you're doing that, those are all very good signs. Don't worry about them. It's a sign of effective practice. Okay. And now we'll open it up for Q&A. So it looks like we only have one question so far. So when you exhale, yeah, you do have to move your tongue for the 4-7-8 or even for the you're doing the embryonic breathing, you do have to move your tongue, otherwise it can't really, the air can't really get out. There are some, you know, if we're thinking of Taoist exercises, like you go to your acupuncturist and they tell you, oh, you have a lot of, you know, you have a lot of internal heat, or you're really heaty, then you can keep your tongue at the roof of your mouth and keep your teeth closed, and then blow out around your lips. And that is a meditative technique to help cool the energetic heat of your body that you may have developed. Let's see if there's any.
If anyone does have any other questions, please type them directly into the Q&A feature. I see a few hands raised and some messages coming through the chat. In order for Dr. Feegan to see your questions, you'll please need to type them into the Q&A feature. Thank you.
So I see two here. So breathing can help with if you're feeling bloated. Sometimes bloating can be like a fairly it can have a lot of causes. A lot of times it's because your diaphragm is too tight. That is very common if you're stressed, and then that leads to many other issues. So doing a diaphragmatic breathing will help stretch the diaphragm and help with any sort of you know, abdominal discomfort you may be having. If you're new to doing diaphragm breathing, I think you should have a limit at first, right? You know, for meditation, 20 minutes is pretty good, just because there can be, you know, you want to get used to it, right? In reality, you can't do it too much, but if you're new to it, ease yourself in, get used to it, and then you'll be ready to run with it. When you exhale, yes, your belly does go in. That is correct. There are other types of breathing, but when you exhale, if you're doing diaphragmatic breathing, your belly should go in. That's correct. So the question is breathing to help get your body into alignment. In that case, the breathing is important, but so is the position that you're in. So, you know, something that you would see martial artists do, Shaolin monks do, is called standing post, where you stand, your knees are bent, your hips are slightly bent, standing, you know, standing as if you were on a very high chair. And then you want to keep your back straight and have your head as if it's being suspended from a fine silk thread from the sky. Stand like that and then do the diaphragmatic breathing. That is a great way to get your body into alignment. It won't happen immediately. You know, you have to do that pretty consistently, but if you do it long enough, you will have great posture, and it's one of the ways that martial artists build such internal strength. If you are interested in my location, or coming to see me, getting a free consult or whatever, I work for the line locations in the West Loop and also in Streeterville. All right, looks like no more questions. And that is about all the time that we have. So thank you everybody for joining us. Like I said before, if you are interested in more information, you know, feel free to give us a ring, email us, you know, come talk to me with a free consult, whatever you'd like. I'd be happy to answer your questions or give you more information about how we can help you.